What's up again, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. I am Dual666. I've got another stack of 70s horror here today. This time a stack of DVDs, not Blu-rays. You guys know how I like to do this. Let's just get on down to it. Cheers to all you stoner folk, all you stony people. Cheers, y'all. Here we go. And cheers to all you alkies out there. Today I got something I've never really had too much before. It's Easy Rider. Not really sure where this comes from, but I got it at a grocery outlet, and it's been treating me pretty well. So cheers, everybody. It's pretty good. All right. Let's get into it, y'all. Got a great update here. First up is a Kino DVD. We got a Bay of Blood, Mario Bava, 1971, I believe this is, aka Twitch of the Death Nerve. This is the inspiration for Friday the 13th. Like many would say, I'm honestly in agreement with it. It just bears so many resemblances to that film, cast-wise, kill-wise, mood-wise, setting-wise. It's all here. You know, it's just, instead of a lake, it's on a bay. Maybe not quite the young, charming teenagers, more adult themed, but still very much a similar film, and almost an entire 10 years earlier as well. So there's that. Very, very brutal. Like, not a proto slasher. Like, this is a slasher film through and through. Definitely right at the tip of the giallo wave there. But no, I still consider this is not a giallo film as far as I'm concerned. There's giallo elements, but this is a through and through slasher, and for that reason, I absolutely love it. Slashers are my favorite. This bears much more resemblance to an 80s slasher than a giallo, so go with that if that's what you're into. I would definitely recommend it. This next one is the original Babysitter at Home Alone with a Maniac on the Loose movie. This is Fright from 1971. This is an old Anchor Bay release. This is a great DVD release of this. What's homegirl's name? Susan George from Straw Dogs is in this. And great performance from her, as well as the guy that plays the killer. I forget what his name is, man. But this movie really, much slower and less slashery, just more character study-ish. Not in the typical violent sense. Like, this movie has the violence dialed back quite a bit as far as I'm concerned. But the suspense factor is just fantastic, and I really love the performance of the mother. She's so distraught the entire movie. She's so worried in it. It's definitely for a good reason. So check out Fright. Definitely a really sick film. This next one, me and my dad watched this recently. He'd been wanting me to see this for years, and we finally tracked down a copy and finally made some time to watch it together. It's not really a horror movie, but it's got some horror elements. It's Electra Glide in Blue from 1973. This also has my one of my favorite actors, Royal Dano, who you might know from Killer Clowns from Outer Space or other wacky roles in like 80s horror. He plays a very serious coroner role in this movie, and he's just completely opposite to what you normally would see for him. So very, very cool. Robert Blake does a fantastic job in this movie. Super, super reserved but creepy psychological performance, and like the very good story. I can't really like let too much go about the storyline other than it's just Arizona, highway patrol, motorcycle cop stuff, and then like 70s smuggling and like hippie fucking commune shit. There's not much to say like plot wise. I don't want to ruin anything. But the aesthetics, the grittiness of this movie, they're really something to behold. Like, this is a fantastic film. Like, not just a horror film, just a fantastic film. Definitely check that out. Found this one at a con recently, maybe a year or so ago, and I've watched it a few times, and it's so batshit crazy that I haven't really given it a chance to be on an update yet. Don't know what to make of it quite. Night of the Strangler. No strangling, I don't believe, in any of the whole movie. It's not really a slasher. This is more of a blaxploitation, sort of like Dolomite ripoff, sort of. It's hard to describe. This movie is absolutely fucking crazy, though. Just the racist banter of everything else going for it is also incredibly just bizarre. But the dialogue in this movie is incredibly racist. Like, some of the most foul language I have ever heard on that subject, for sure. So tread lightly if you're sensitive to that sort of stuff. Extremely, extremely bizarre blaxploitation film. Like, it's framed like as a slasher or a proto-slasher, but that is not what it is. So the American Genre Film Archive did this little joint release with Vinegar Syndrome. This is one of the earliest Vinegar Syndrome releases. Next up is another Kino Lorber. It's a TV movie from 1973 starring Bette Davis. Who is the actual lead, though? Her name is Sion Barbara Allen, and I don't really know her from anything else, but she gives a great performance here as well. Ted Bessel from That Girl, it's like an old show from the 70s or 60s or something like that. He gives a pretty good performance here too as the antagonist. Bette Davis, a little more reserved in her role, but still pretty damn good. This is a proto-slasher with like some haunted house sort of vibes. You're never quite sure if it's like the spirit of someone or if someone's crazy or what's really going on. It is a proto-slasher in that like it's kind of a body count film, but that's not really what the movie's about. It's like examining like all the characters to see who is responsible for what the hell is going on. So yeah, it's definitely more of a character study, like a little bit more geeky of a film than a standard slasher. But it has those elements, it's building on those elements as they kind of come into their own in the early and mid-70s. I would definitely say seek that out. That's a really good, creepy TV movie. This next one is from the Euroshot collection. It's a Snapper Case, Image Entertainment, very old DVD. It's 1974's Frightmare. This movie bears like a strong resemblance to like Herschel Gordon Lewis movies. Like, it's just so bonkers. The storyline is insane. The characters are acted incredibly insane. Just the eccentricities of this film alone are very, very bizarre and hard to really like take it serious as a horror film. But once you get to the slasher elements, though, there is some brutality to be had. Like, I was not expecting some of these brutal kills in this movie, so there is some cool stuff there for you slasher fans, which is definitely why I've watched it like a good handful of times since I got it. I'm pretty pleased with it, so definitely recommend. This next one bears a strong resemblance to the original Night of the Living Dead. Came out like 6 years later in 1974. This is Let Sleeping Corpses Lie. It goes under a few other names. I can't really remember like any of them right now, but Let Sleeping Corpses Lie is what I've pretty much known it as. This is the Blue Underground DVD. There's probably a better pressing of it now, but this goes. This does pretty well. It's a pretty good copy of the print, and there's nothing wrong with the audio. This movie's just very creepy in the same way that Night of the Living Dead was, and like the dead just never seem to stop coming. Like, you can deal with them, and it just delays the inevitable. They just keep coming. They keep coming, and a very inventive concept as far as what reanimates the corpses. It's not just piggybacking off of the Romero model. It has its own origin, which maybe not quite as thorough or convincing, but still a very cool, unique origin for the zombies in this movie. And the zombies themselves, very well acted, very good makeup. There's plenty of good brutal kills in this, and just the isolation in this movie and like the feeling of hopelessness as these corpses just never stop coming. It really, really just, it's peak zombie for me. Like, I love these late 60s and early 70s zombie movies. Like, right after Romero did his thing, like, just a handful of them popped up. And they're no longer, like, voodoo zombies or, like, Italian, like, priest, like, reanimated, just, like, cadavers with spirits. Like, I really like the idea of the zombies being reanimated by some human means coming awry, like radiation poisoning, or in this movie there's like a signal, like a frequency that's being broadcasted to help the agriculture or something, and it reanimates the corpses. To the best of my abilities, that's what's happening in this film. So very unique take on zombie films, and just thoroughly executed. I really enjoyed this. Spent a lot of time in it. This next one is very, very sleazy. Another Blue Underground release. It's the Night Train Murders. Another rape, revenge, exploitation film. This movie is absolutely brutal. Lots of depravity and lots of just general sleaze and other bizarre shit going on, like all 70s horror. I wouldn't say it's one of my favorites in that particular subgenre, but it definitely packs a punch. Tread lightly if you're not about that. Definitely a solid flick for the genre. This is kind of flipping the genre on its head, the exploitation genre. This is Death Game from 1976. This is the original film that the 2015 film with Keanu Reeves, Knock Knock, was based upon. And these two women come to this guy's house. He's a happily married man. They come in the house. We're sick. Our car crashed or something or other. I can't really remember. It's actually I watched this a handful of times and remember really liking it. But it's actually been a little while since the last time I watched it, like at least a couple months. But I just remember these girls being absolutely depraved, like baby Firefly from A House of a Thousand Corpses. By the time they get him, seduced and at their mercy, like this movie really just flips the exploitation genre on its head. The guy is absolutely powerless, reflecting of his mistakes and stuff. Like none of this would have happened if he could have just held it together, had some self-control. But this is a really, really cool film. I think it needed to be made when it was, just to show that it could be done. Like it wasn't just all exploitation, like rape revenge on women film. So, cool to see a reverse take on that subgenre. Definitely would recommend. The music at the beginning of the movie is a little annoying, but I think the film itself is pretty good. Next up is Marathon Man. Not really a horror film, more of a thriller, but a pretty damn good one. I don't want to talk about this one too much because I don't want to give much away. It's got a crazy, interweaving storyline, but solid performances, like lots of A-listers. Who's in this one? We have Dustin Hoffman, Lawrence Oliver, Roy Schneider, William Devane. I've only watched this one a couple times, and I've actually been after it for a while, but for some reason I just haven't watched it the way I should. I definitely need to give it another try. I really did enjoy it, and this is a film that I heard about in 2007, and it's just been sitting on my shelf for a couple months. I don't know why I haven't been more interested in it, but I did like it. Probably need a better version of it, honestly. This little rinky-dink version of it's probably not the best. I'll probably get a better viewing with a better copy, but definitely liked it. Would recommend Marathon Man. It's not really a horror film, but perhaps the very first scary dentist film, though. Okay, this one is also exploitation, but this is more on the torture side rather than the rape side. This is Last House on Dead End Street, 1978. I bought this at a con maybe a year and a half, 2 years ago, and I've watched it a handful of times. This is a pretty rough copy. This movie could stand to be restored. I'm sure it's out there somewhere. This is what I happened upon first. It's pretty cheap, so I scooped it up. Lots of brutal torture and lots of ritualistic strangeness going on in this film. It's very short runtime, so you won't get bored. It's just a little more bizarre and maybe incohesive than most exploitation films, and that's really all I can say about it. Sometimes it comes off more as a slasher, but it really is an exploitation film. So I would still recommend it, just maybe not one of the better ones. This one, however, one of the greatest exploitation films of all time, and an inspiration for the final scene in Death Proof. Last House on the Beach. Severin release on DVD. Picture looks great on this. Sound is great on this. The movie is one of the best exploitation films on the rape revenge side for sure. But the revenge portion is very, very good in this film. I just had a ton of fun watching it as it wrapped up, man. What more can I say? You can't really. It doesn't stray far from the exploitation tree. So if that's what you're about, I definitely recommend it. Last one we have here is some Italian strangeness from Joe D'Amato. This is from 1979, the infamous Beyond the Darkness. I've been after this film for a while as well. It kind of sat on the back burner as far as me acquiring it for a while, and then I got it some months ago, and I've been watching it like a lot ever since then. I would say the first time I saw it was kind of a letdown because I've been hyping it up for so much, so much for myself for the last few years, and I just didn't feel like it completely delivered. But as I rewatch, it's really grown on me, and this is just a strange, creepy film. Lots of like weird necro obsessed sort of stuff. Like, I love a movie where the main character just keeps the fucking corpses in their house and like they decay through the movie and do weird shit. This is definitely like one of those. Yeah, and then like you add the overt slasher and like sexual giallo themes to this, and you got yourself a winner. It's pretty much just like a mashup of everything that's great about the mid 70s and the early 80s. Like good slasher vibes and then good giallo splattery sort of vibes. So definitely check that out. And that's gonna wrap it up, guys. I know I haven't been super active like I want to be, but I'm at least trying to do one video like at least every couple weeks instead of making you guys wait for months like I have been. So just going to do my best to remain as active as I can, and yeah, without further ado, I'm going to end this, guys. Thank you guys for watching, as always. Have a safe evening, watch some horror movies, get home safe from wherever you are, and I'll see you all next time. Take it easy, guys. Keep on creeping.